Hi, Chrissy here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It was really quick and easy, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of speed up the video here just so this doesn't take too much of your time. I don't know about you, but I love watching tutorial videos, but I hate it when they take too long. So I just combined a few different stamp sets. That first stamp that I used, the one that has an adorable peppermint, is from a Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz set, and the second one is from Crafter's Companion. And so I just kind of aligned them together the way that I wanted. I cut a piece of watercolor stock, and I'm going to be stamping on the smoother side. Some watercolors are rougher than others, so I recommend giving a couple different ones a try. This is Canson. And what I'm doing is I'm using my Misty tool. And this tool is super awesome because if you're like me and you make a lot of mistakes, this kind of fixes your mistakes. So you can lay down the stamps the way you want. I placed them down and I put the little magnet to hold the paper, and then it just picked up the stamps for me. And then if you decide, like I did here, that you didn't get enough coverage on one of the stamps, it's still in the exact same spot, so you just re-ink it and press down again. And then you get perfect coverage. So I love my Misty. I probably don't use it as much as I should, and it's like I didn't have it for so long, and then once I finally got it, I forget to use it. So I'm really trying to use it more just because, you know, like I said, I make some mistakes sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add clear embossing powder to this. I use VersaFine ink, Black Onyx, or Onyx Black, whatever it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add some clear embossing powder because I'm going to be adding some water to this card. I'm going to be using a watercolor technique. So this is going to protect all that ink that we just stamped. If we didn't add clear embossing powder over the top of it, we'd have the potential for it bleeding all over the place, and that would not look good at all. So I just used a heat gun to activate it, and even though it's really hard to see on camera, and actually even in person, it's hard to tell because it's clear, there is clear embossing powder on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off our little peppermint, and I'm using some liquid frisket. Liquid frisket is just basically like a liquid masking agent. I got some at a local art supply store. It's actually something that I used ages ago when I would watercolor, and I kind of forgot about it. And then all of a sudden, I noticed that masking kind of started popping up in card making, and I was like, oh, frisket, this is awesome. So it's very, very inexpensive. I think this was maybe like $4 or $5. I just got like the generic brand. You don't need anything special, or you can use, there's all kinds of like masking pens and stuff out there. You could use that as well. So just go ahead and paint it on. I use kind of a cruddy paintbrush in case it gets ruined, and let it dry. And now I am going to place a stencil over my image, because I'm actually going to use Distress ink, but I want kind of like a fun, subtle and soft background in there. So I'm going to use this Heidi Swap stencil, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm taping it down with washi tape. And now I'm doing what's called a wash. And a wash is just putting plain ink, or I'm sorry, plain water over your background. And now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to start adding in colors kind of randomly. I'm going to add some green here and there, then add some water, then I'm going to use my heat gun to dry it, and then go back and add some more. I'm going to do several different layers because I want that watercolor look that we've all come to know and love, where you see like the different layers of color kind of seeping together with the water, kind of fanning out all over the place. And by putting the wash on first, that plain water, that forces the ink to kind of move further over the page. So you can see as I peel it off there that I do have that nice look from the stencil, but I still have that watercolor kind of like bled out look, which is what I was looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and I cleared everything off. And then I also went and I added a few spritzes of water because I did want to soften it a little bit more. I just kind of felt like it was a little bit too harsh. And by adding that water, the Distress inks are reacting with it again, and it just kind of softened it. And now I'm just using my heat gun because I want everything to be 100% dry. So I also decided I wanted to add some flecks of gold, and I just thought it would look really fun and Christmassy. We have the red and green in there. I needed some gold. So I grabbed this Heidi Swap spray mist, it's the color mist, and instead of spraying it normally, I used a paintbrush. So I just dipped it in and flicked it. And then again, I'm kind of blotting where I don't want as much, and then I'm using the heat gun to go ahead and dry it off. I am like a heat gun spaz. I swear I use my heat gun more than anything else. Probably because I do a lot of like watercoloring with markers and pencils and then actual watercolor paints and distress inks and stuff. So I swear I use it like constantly. Like I don't know, that is like my go-to tool. So now I am getting rid of that liquid frisket we put on there. And I'm just using this little rubber remover. It's just this little square. I think it was like 99 cents. You can also, this is great. I actually normally use this for getting rid of rubber cement. Same concept. So you can see it's completely white in the background there where we masked it off. And now I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir blendable colored pencils along with some blending solution, and that's just Gamsol. And I'm using the blending sticks, and I'm just going to start adding a little bit of color. I'm nothing too crazy, but just a little bit of color to that little peppermint. I'm going in with some gray. I'm going to use 27, 116, and 46 to add some different colors in there. And before I started coloring, you saw me with that sandpaper. I was kind of sharpening that paper stump. I had color on there from previously. So that just gets rid of the color that might already be on there. And I'm just going to kind of go around the outside and add a few shadows, again, with another blending stump that just really softens it up. You don't have to use Gamsol. You don't have to use blending stumps, the paper stumps or anything. It's just personal preference. And now to make some of that a little bit brighter, I just grabbed a white marker. And I'm just adding a few highlights in there. I felt like some of it got kind of lost when I blended it. And you know what? That stamp is really, really detailed. So I just wanted to add a pop of white in there. So now my card base is going to be Craft, and I'm just taking a sheet of cardstock that was 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm just scoring it at the 5 1/2. And this will be a top fold card, and I just used my Martha Stewart mini scoreboard. So now I'm going to add some adhesive. I use this adhesive the most. This is really, really strong. It's Crafter's Companion. So I would recommend when you're using watercolor paper, because it's thicker and because you have done so much to that paper by adding, you know, water and everything like that, to make sure you really use a super, super strong adhesive. So now to finish up everything, I decided to add, I wanted some gloss added to that peppermint. So I'm using 3D Crystal lacquer, but you can most certainly use glossy accents. It's kind of a similar product. And then I'm just adding some extra fine glitter that's in there. It's Elizabeth Craft, and it's the warm diamond color. And there you go. You can see it's nice and sparkly and shiny. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon. Thanks.